I thought my college friends were my family. Until I remembered who truly was. I want to tell you a story I've never really said out loud. It's messy, emotional, and honestly, kind of embarrassing. But if it helps even one person rethink who they're surrounding themselves with, it's worth it. So here it goes. I left for college thinking I was finally escaping the bubble. You know, the small town trap everyone talks about. I grew up in a sleepy little town in Iowa, the kind of place with one gas station, one high school, and one movie theater that still had sticky floors and popcorn for $2. But I had dreams. Big ones. I got into a mid-sized university in Chicago, far enough to feel like freedom but still close enough that my mom could guilt-trip me into coming home for Thanksgiving. I remember the day I moved into my dorm. I was buzzing with excitement. My mom cried in the parking lot. My dad said, "Make good choices," in that dad voice. I waved them off like I had everything figured out. Spoiler alert. I didn't. The first people I met were my suite mates, Amanda, Bella, and Kayla. They were loud, confident, and dressed like they belonged on a Netflix reboot of Gossip Girl. I was the quiet, small-town girl in thrifted jeans and a hoodie from high school track. But they liked me. Or, I thought they did. They invited me to parties. They posted me on their Instagram stories with captions like, "Our little Iowa baby," and at the time, I didn't mind. I thought it was endearing. I thought I was being accepted. Looking back, I realize I was being tolerated. Like I was their pet project. Someone they could mold. At first, it felt like friendship. Until it didn't. It started small. They'd laugh when I mispronounced something trendy. One time, I called Balenciaga wrong, and Amanda said, "Oh honey, that's so cute. We need to culture you." Kayla would joke that I dressed like a substitute teacher. Bella once said, "You're not like ugly, just Midwest cute." I laughed with them. I wanted to belong. So I started changing. I bought new clothes I couldn't afford. I stopped texting my old friends from home because I was embarrassed of the way they still used bro, unironically, and thought Olive Garden was fancy. I tried to become the person they'd fully accept, not just keep around like a mascot. But no matter how hard I tried, I was never one of them. Not really. One night, I was invited to this exclusive party. Like, off campus, invite only, frat guy knows a DJ kind of party. I didn't even want to go, but Amanda told me, "This is your chance to show you're not boring." So I went. I wore this short red dress that Bella lent me, heels that hurt like hell, and more makeup than I'd ever put on in my life. At the party, they ditched me within 10 minutes. I was just standing there, alone, pretending to text someone when I saw them across the room laughing with some guys. Amanda made eye contact with me and rolled her eyes. I pretended not to see it. Some guy offered me a drink. I took it. I didn't want to seem rude. That night is blurry. Nothing happened, nothing awful or illegal. But I remember feeling lost. Small. Dizzy. I ended up sitting outside on the curb, barefoot, holding my heels, wondering how I got here. And that's when I did something I hadn't done in months. I called Eli. Eli was my childhood best friend. We grew up 3 blocks from each other. We used to ride bikes to 7-Eleven and eat Slurpees until our stomachs hurt. He helped me bury my first pet turtle. We used to sit on my roof and talk about life like we knew anything about it. But I hadn't spoken to him since I left for college. When I called, it rang twice. "Hello?" His voice hit me like a warm blanket. "Hey," I croaked. "Nora?" I started crying. Right there, on the side of some frat house in the middle of Chicago. I cried like I was 8 again, like the world had ended. He didn't ask me why. He didn't pressure me. He just said, "I'm here. It's okay." And for the first time in months, I believed someone. After that night, something broke inside me. I stopped hanging out with Amanda and her crew. At first, they didn't notice. Then they started texting me passive-aggressively. "Miss you, Iowa girl. You alive or what? New friends already?" I ignored them. I started spending more time alone. I reconnected with my old childhood friends, Eli, of course, but also Jessa and Mark, who were still in Iowa. We started FaceTiming weekly. I'd tell them about my awful professors, and they'd tell me about their jobs and small town drama. I remembered who I was. I remembered who they were. One day, Jessa sent me an old picture of the four of us building a snow fort in her backyard. We looked ridiculous. Red noses, too many scarves. Eli's tongue stuck to a metal pole. I laughed so hard I cried. That night, I wrote in my journal, greater than, maybe growing up doesn't mean growing away from who you are. It wasn't until March that the Amanda situation exploded. I'd been keeping my distance, focusing on school and talking to real friends again. One evening, Amanda cornered me outside our dorm. "You think you're better than us now?" she said. I blinked. "What? You just ghosted. Like we didn't make you cool." That hit a nerve. "You didn't make me anything," I said, my voice shaking. "You just made me hate who I was." Amanda scoffed. "Oh my God, you're so dramatic. You were boring. We gave you a life." "No," I said, louder this time. "You gave me anxiety." I walked away, legs trembling. I don't know if she yelled something after me. I didn't care. I was done. That night, I blocked them all. Deleted the photos. Threw out the dress. It was over. In April, I went home for spring break. Eli picked me up from the bus station. We got milkshakes and drove around town, windows down, music too loud. It felt like breathing again. I told him everything. The fake friends. The loneliness. The pretending. He didn't judge me. He just said, "You forgot who you were for a while. But you came back." That night, we sat on the roof of my garage like we used to. Looking at the stars. "I missed this," I whispered. "Me too." There was a long pause. Then he said, "Nora? I never stopped being your friend. Even when you forgot I existed." That one hit me deep. Because I'd left behind people who loved me for people who barely liked me. About a year later, sophomore year, I was walking across campus when I ran into Bella. She looked tired, pale. Her hair was still perfect, but her eyes weren't. She smiled awkwardly. "Hey, Nora." I nodded. "Hey." There was a silence. Then she said, "You were right, you know." I blinked. "About what?" "Everything." Amanda turned on me. "On all of us. She's just not a good person." I didn't say anything. She continued, "I saw you on Insta. You look happy. Really happy." I was. For the first time in a long time. "I am," I said. "I remembered who my people are." She looked down, embarrassed. "Wish I'd done that sooner." Then she walked away. Here's what I learned, the hard way. Not everyone who claps for you is on your side. And not every shiny new friend is worth the cost of the ones who've been with you through the mud. Real friends? They don't care if you mispronounce designer brands or wear thrifted hoodies. They care if you're sad. If you're safe. If you're still you. The ones who've seen you ugly cry, laugh snort, and eat Taco Bell at 2 a.m. in pajamas. Those are the ones you hold on to. And sometimes, it takes losing yourself to find out who really never left. I still talk to Eli every day. We're not dating, if you're wondering. People always ask that. But honestly, what we have. It's deeper than that. He's the kind of person who shows up when you don't even know you need someone. And everyone deserves an Eli. So if you've got one, call them. Thank them. Reconnect. Because in the end, the friends who knew you before you tried to be someone else are the ones who truly know you at all.